wanna when we come and ningy nanga nanga lippy la pajusa la pa. You know wanna when we come and chitty kata and the bar head. Don't be what them. Don't be. You know what I'm. Don't be. Want 'em, nigga. Want 'em, nigga. Want 'em, nigga. Want 'em, nigga.
Na bado na vingi siwezi kukutenda kila day bana, mimi bado nakuwaza. Umefiltro yangu bado nakuwaza. Kukutext bado nakuwaza.
Kelele.
Because you know I'ma come, I'ma make it count, I'ma bring my all, I'ma bring my heart, I'ma bring my eight, yeah, make my mama proud. I'ma grind super hard cause I wanna make the rules, cause the short nigga wanna be the boss.
I go, by the
In a minute, I want us to introduce and take this lady and listen to her because she has a lot. Sisi kama mayouth, we face a lot. We're going to introduce to you a lady, a professional in the field of
counseling psychology.
Let me just, unajua watu wengine wezi joma portfolio, so hata tu nisome portfolio. Mtu wako na profile mzuri. Wewe utaanza please.
Mimi nianze. Nataka mimi nianze. So this lady, her name is Wangari Mwangi. Wangari Mwangi she's a graduate of Kenyatta University. Mnasikia hizo majina? Kenyatta what? Kenyatta what? Hiyo unasema na nyadhi.
So I started listening. And I got that sometimes actually we parents, sometimes we really do not listen. And all we are thinking of ni vile tutawaweka straight and narrow road there. Excuse me. The way we'll put you on the straight and narrow. And so we keep talking about what you're not doing right. And we don't see what you're doing well. So that got me on a path of listening to youth and wondering, actually, what are they going through? And then it reminded me of the time I was growing up as well, and how I was not heard. And I wish somebody had heard me. And the one thing that also made me want to work with you and to encourage you to become who you are is because I missed out on who I wanted to be.
Like your mom, okay, she's always there, she provides, that's good, but I want a mom who is more than just providing. I want a mom who will listen to me and be there and everything, but she's not that. She's actually a very busy woman. I appreciate her for the hard work and everything, but whenever she gets to my peak, kitu kidogo tu anakuingilia, when she gets to my peak, I get so pissed. Okay, so suicidal, it's not that bad. Actually, you just take a knife, stab a couple of times, and maybe you'll feel the pain, but maybe eventually you'll die, or just eat a risk, easier or painful. But yeah, when she gets to my peak, so how do I control that? How?
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, isn't it? Can you be okay with that?
Yeah, music is good. Positive vibes help along. So with the music, I'm pushing on. Thank you so much, and thank you for this forum.
I can start to accept that that's the way it is. And that's why I was saying when I spoke that time, there is pain we must walk through. okay, yes, we feel it. We feel like our heart, if somebody opened, there will be no heart in the end because this pain is so much. But we just have to accept that that's the way things are. And there's nothing much I can do. And then a lot of times I'll say that our story is the one that really hurts us. Sometimes it's not even what is real.
So I have a question. So when you talk about mental health, in my mind, I get two divisions.
Yeah.
Like for me, I stay in Kayole. So someone like Kayole, something like mental health, when you talk about it, at mini kuna depression, unamboyo luma.
Because you're the one from that place, how do you think you can communicate that now that we are here discussing? And we can all chip in, because this will help somebody. How can we share what depression is in the language that they will understand?
For first, I can explain, they will get it.
Yes.
But then when you get to the issue of comprehending, it's like, I can give you example with a disease like cancer. Many people have taken cancer to be a disease of the people with money. So if you are poor and you have cancer, they say something is wrong. So it is in the same context. Yeah.
But if you can share something that you went through, that person can connect to, it will help. But if I came to Kayole, I would be able to use language that they would understand.
In university, you know, people are tukona tamaa ya pesa. You know, you want to be rich without following the due process that you have to go through. So I think people do think that through terrorism you'll get a lot of money, which maybe it's not true. And even if maybe you get the money, maybe you'll pass away. I don't say benefit from that. I think the reason is because of money. For the reason, one reason.
Cecil, actually is just that is short and clear. And then there's a lot of needs that you need to cater for, especially madam. Then unapata mtu mwenye anaweza kupatia, instead of going for a sponsor, there's another very beautiful, rather very handsome guy mwenye anakuoffer do. So without knowing, unajishtukia umemkubalia, anaanza kupatia do kidogo, tumepata kazi mahali fulani, then by the time unashtukia na kwambia na kupeleka out, unajipata kwa Somalia. And unfortunately in Somalia, in Syria, in Yemen, hakuna raha huko. You go there actually to die at the end of the day. Either you'll be killed by the AMISOM forces, ama utauawa na wao wenyewe. We've had cases where vijana wetu wengi wamenyongwa wakiwa Somalia. Because the moment you're there, unajaribu kutoka, Al-Shabaab wenyewe wanakuua. They behead you. And anytime they suspect that you're working as a mole, watakuchinja, watakutoa shingo. So we really need to be very careful. There are signs that zinaweza kukuambia huyu kijana ameanza kutembea vibaya, si ndio? How will you know that mtu anaanza kuchange, kuwa radicalized? Kitu ya kwanza, you really need to be very observant, because kuna zile changes zenye mtu ana change, lakini it doesn't mean that anakuwa radicalized. Kitu ya kwanza, nikiwa na ndevu hivi nakaa nani? Sina Al-Shabaab. I've really had a fight with my mother all the time, ananiambia, wewe hizi ndevu unyoe kwa sababu umeanza kuingia Al-Shabaab. Si ndio? You remember about Dusit? Si ndio? Dusit ilifanyika juzi. Mimi mwenyewe I've really been fighting radicalization through social media, basically. That is all what Lenga Ugaidi na Talata is all about. But then my very close cousin, nilikuwa actually kwa hii kazi tunaendelea kupiga simu, nikaambia unajua nini? Redrix amepigwa risasi na Al-Shabaab. A very close cousin of mine, and he was the only child to my aunt, to my uncle. When he was taken, it really hit me. So kama haijakufikia, na sitaki kufikie, jua everyone is vulnerable to radicalization. Either utapigwa na Al-Shabaab, ama rafiki yako, ama wazazi wako, ama... So we really need to be vigilant. Science ni, the moment mtu anaanza kubadilika, anaanza kumea ndevu kama hizi zangu, lazima mwanze kumwangalia vizuri sana. Wanaanza kuwa rebellious, they change friends, hataki hata kuongea na marafiki zake wengine, and then they become violent in terms of solving issues. Hataki kusikia, huwezi mwambia. Look at such cases. Saa zingine pia wanaweza change mpaka mavazi. Ile mavazi alikuwa amezoea kuvaa anabadilisha all of a sudden. Ama sometimes they start looking at people like Osama bin Laden as the heroes. Unaona mpaka ukienda kwa room yake, hizo ndio picha zenye ameweka. You really need to be careful with such people. If you realize such a thing is happening, either you can guide them, you can report to the authorities, you can make sure that there is someone who is helping them. Other than kidogo mtashtukia amefanya nini, ameenda. And I know guys from Nairobi University, you know one of your very own alumni, anaitwa Abraham, right? Alienda akapata kazi mzuri, and he was an A student. They will not go for hawa watu wajinga wataenda wale wakinyoko na akili. Wale watu wajinga kazi yao ni kwenda kulipuka, suicide bombers. But nyinyi wenye mko na akili, they still need you. Sio kweli? Abraham was here, akasoma Nairobi University, kidogo akaenda Garissa University, na aliwa watu wengi sana. We really need to be very careful with these things, especially on social media. That is where they're looking for you.
So, different social platforms have different objectives. Building an audience is what draws the money, and investing in content, both your time and your effort, is what builds an audience. And remember, it's not just your neighbors in the neighborhood, it's a global audience. So start with one like, build a global audience, and you monetize that audience.
I would kindly like to know, like, when you're starting out, you have a few followers, you have a very few social media influence on maybe Twitter or Facebook, but how can you start making money from maybe the little 50 followers you have, and you know you don't have that money to pay for promoted ads and stuff? How do you monetize the social media? Yeah. How can you earn money from it?
Right now, how many friends do you have?
The people I know.
No, your friends. Oh, you're on Instagram, I take it, right?
Yeah.
How many likes or followers do you have on Instagram?
About 100.
100?
Yeah.
So if you are to tell them, hey, we are here at August 7th Memorial Park, you all should come, how many of them will come?
Like 30.
30?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Enter that door. How much is it?
400.
400 bob.
Yeah.
Right? So 400 times 30 is how much? 12K. That's how much influence you have at this event right now. It didn't matter that you have only 100 followers, isn't it? It's the 30 people who walk into that door. Why? It's because of the trust they have in you, or the trust in the communication that you have. That trust is more important than the number of followers that you have. And you'll notice there was a study that came out, I think about 2 weeks ago, where influencers were being, shut down, saying 82% of Kenyans are not really influenced to make a purchasing decision because of influencers. That study should have read that 82% of Kenyans have lost trust in influencers. Because the influencers you trust, you follow, and you buy from. So, just to answer your question, start with 50, but influence more than half. And grow that influence as you grow your audience. It's your content that will keep them engaged. What content are you giving these 50 people? Or what content are you giving your 100 followers? You need not answer that now. Go think about it and start saying, how am I starting to build this momentum in terms of gaining more followers? Let me tell you how the more followers come, that you don't need to pay for promoted posts. Good content is easily shareable, right? The content you make, will someone look at it, chuckle, and then forward it to their friends? If it doesn't meet that criteria, then it's not good content.
When you are trying to put content, it gets to a point whereby it's almost an addiction, right? That's all you think about. It's like, oh, I have to feed my audience or else they'll go. I need to add on the numbers. I need, everything is content, post. So at what point do you have to be like, okay, stop now. Am I out there just to entertain people that view me young? It's not fun anymore. It's jobo, it's stress, and I'm finding myself withdrawing from normal people and just getting sucked into social media too much.
That, I'm afraid, is a personal journey. We had, one popular online personality called Mrs. S. She went off social media for I think 6 months or so. What happened is that she overexposed her issues online, right? And then the issues took a life of their own. And then, she made a decision that this is now creeping too much into my privacy. I think I need a break. She took a break. And when she came back, not only did she get back on track, but now she got an opportunity to host a TV show as well. So moderation is, how much can you handle it? What I like advising, some of the talent that I work with is create a character. Your character and your personal life are two different entities. When you enter your house, you're a person. You say hi to your people, you make your own food, you wash your dishes, you make your bed, blah. When you step out, you're in character, right? And that is what people follow, people invest in, right? People may call you fake, but the content that's made by the character is what is entertaining or has that value. So distinguishing those two is what will keep your sanity as your platforms grow. Because the pressure on that now starts coming from, you have 10 client briefs, right? So you ask for it. The client briefs are there. We all want this platform, these are expectations, and you posted yesterday there were no likes, right? And I thought we were paying. Where are the likes you get? So you need to come back and say, okay, fine. This is how I want to run my content. And if it doesn't fit, within this kind of schedule, then, perhaps you should reconsider this conversation or this transaction. I always advise my clients or the talent that I work with is, remain true to your content.
So far I've learned two things. One, that especially on the mental health issue, many people are going through it, but with the right step and the right people around you and people being able to reach out, people can be able to come back in. And the second thing is that there's a community. Here I found a community of young people whereby people are able to share, learn a lot of things. People here can dance, people here can sing, and basically there's a rich community of young people.
Learn about mental health, particularly about depression and how to overcome depression in life.
Yes, and it's a very good session, so I'm hoping next time it will be bigger and better.
Yeah, about the social media creation, we have learned to post things that are on context so that we can get more followers, if it's on IG, if it's on Facebook or Twitter, so that you can get more followers. Post something that has content. On mental health, you should know when you're almost having stress. You should know, like when you are almost into depression, there are signs that will come, so that you can know that you are in depression, and to avoid it, you can seek counseling.
Tumechapa show, tumelearn vitu mob, so weka uli hata